sell the news, there's two strategies: bearish reversal up against resistance and bearish continuation pattern. Today, I want to talk about how to set up a continuation pattern trade using polynomials and W patterns. And when doing this, you first have to review the 5 parts of every trade. You want to make sure, what is the trend? What is the momentum of the trend? Are you at support or resistance? What's the potential price movement? And how many days will that movement take? In Sell the News, for the last couple months, we've always taken trades up against this resistance level. As price comes up into that resistance, Sell the News, and the trades have varied in size. When reviewing the broader market, SPY, and we zoom into the trend, the technical term for trend is making higher highs and higher lows than the last low. Those lows and highs make channels. So when we see a break of that channel, we have to identify what's going on. And back to the saying, as long as you're making higher lows, you're in an uptrend. But right here, we see that this is a now lower low. Based on this information, we're no longer in an uptrend. That's kind of a tight channel. Instead of using this support area, we use this resistance area, bring it down to this lowest low. You can see we have support. Support does not overrule the fact that we're making lower lows, but there should be more that we look at. And what do we know about when price comes into resistance? We typically see patterns. So potentially, we could see a head and shoulders pattern here, a retracement back up into this support level. Old support becomes new resistance. And then as price comes back up to this $450 level, the overall weakness is shown and price comes down. When we look back over the market and we see that price comes below these channels, there's usually a significant shift in the market. So if this does not hold here, it would just confirm more that the broader market is selling off. Again, for a bigger look, if we were to use these highs as resistance, duplicate it down to this low, this would be a diagonal support level around $380, meaning price could fall all the way here before we find support. In the meantime, we would probably see a leg 2 counter trend trade, Elliott wave leg 3, impulse wave down, then a leg 4 counter trend up, and the completion of a leg 5 into support. Other things we can see is major horizontal support back here, which is even lower than this diagonal support level. In time will tell what happens. But because the market is no longer coming up into resistance, our trading strategy is going to have to change a little bit. Because we were taking trades here, now we're going to have to take trades here. And that's currently what you're seeing on the SPY. This leg 1 or a leg shown right here until we get a green counter trend trade up. When this happens, we're going to want to place a trade right here in anticipation of it going lower. Now here's the difference between an ABC pattern and an Elliott wave. The A leg and the 1 leg both look the same. The B leg, that's a counter trend trade, and the leg 2 both look the same. But this is where the difference comes in on a trend reversal. The C leg, which happens after the B leg, which on the Elliott wave down is leg 3. So ABC pattern would look like this. If price goes lower than that ABC pattern, this would be an Elliott wave. You could tell this by measuring using range boxes to determine support. And if it breaks support, goes lower, then you know at some point you're going to come into a leg 4 and then get another impulse wave lower, leg 5. Now to show you if you're on a smaller time frame, this impulse wave right here will have 5 legs. Then you'll get a bigger ABC pattern, just like the other picture I showed you, waiting for price to come up in a counter trend trade, making a head and shoulders, signaling price is going to go lower. The difference of how you read this is going to be based on the size chart you use. Right now, from these highs down to these lows, it might be hard to see an Elliott wave. But if we go to a smaller time frame, still using these highs, you can see that little B leg or leg 2 pullback. If you take from the bottom back up to those old highs, create a range box, duplicate that down, this would be the A leg. Here's the B leg making this little channel, and price should have stopped right here. But that's not what we see. We see this little tail, so that identifies that we are now a leg 3 of an Elliott wave, meaning price should come back up and then make another impulse wave down, maybe into this area here, which when we brought it out, it would probably look a little bit more like this. Then you would have the leg 2 on a bigger frame, ABC pattern up, where we would want to take a longer term trade as an impulse wave lower. The reason I showed you all that is to show you this, the polynomial. And you can see as price came down into the lower half of the band, then price went back up. And this was a trend continuation, making higher highs. Right, here's that resistance line, and here's the lower part of our channel. We all know price isn't going to just drop to this lower part of the channel. It's going to go up and down, creating a resistance line that will be able to take lots of trades going lower. Sell the news. I like using the polynomial because it's pretty clear on showing the trend. And it's great for showing the outside support and resistance areas, which here we are now. And that's why I'm not overly bearish, because I know there's going to be a little bullish counter trend trade here, giving us a nice signal to go lower. Keep Even with the broader market, just looking at ETFs like XRT, you can see the rainbow effect showing that there's probably downside momentum. What do we know? Low, higher low, break that higher low. Now making lower lows means we're in a downtrend also. We can already see that we're making lower highs and equal highs. So when sell the news on something like this, so you want to make sure that you're in the upper band, if not outside that band, showing that you're overextended. Of course, your eyes probably already drawn to the fact that drawing a line across these tops, you see that that would be resistance. When price comes into that resistance, we'll sell calls here so price falls off lower. You can see how this worked on XOP up in the upper band. And as we know, stocks give us patterns like this double top before going much lower, much lower. We can see the same effects here. XME came into the upper band, making a double top, then sold off, and even more. Now the reversed effect is here we are making higher highs. XME being a commodity will probably hold its value if the market falls off. Making higher highs confirms this. This might be a good place to take a bullish trade. XLY uptrend, bouncing at support, great entry points back to old highs. Now that we see horizontal support, maybe a Wyckoff pattern, hitting up against resistance 5 times. As price comes down to the lower band, maybe we see a retracement up and we're able to take this lower. For right now, because we're on the underside of this band, we have to wait. XLU, another commodity, no wonder we see that at the bottom side of the band with a bullish momentum. XLK broke its highest low. We're at the support part of the band. Maybe it comes a little bit lower, but then we should get that leg 2 counter trend trade up where we'll be able to take the position lower. I wanted to explain that to you because this morning we took a trade on XBI, 90 days, 30 minutes. On an overall time frame, you would see high, lower high, and price started to go lower. And that leads me to my next indicator. A W pattern shows you where resistance is before price is going to fall off and go lower, which looks exactly like this picture here. Downtrending on a smaller candlestick, price coming up in an ABC pattern. This indicator uses the impulse wave for the first leg of the W pattern, then using the ABC pattern for the second part of the W pattern, giving you the overall look. This is the exact way this is printed on the chart for you. And if you notice, here's the A to B, and there's the ABC pattern, giving you higher highs before selling off.